Are mobile home parks safe? Should you even be considering living in one? That is the question that we're going to go over here today. And I'm so thankful that you guys have taken time into your busy day to come learn about mobile home parks, their safety, the pros, and all the things that come along with living in a mobile home park. So thanks so much for being a part of this video. If you have not yet done so below, I have to give a shameless plug. Feel free to join the community in the lower right-hand corner. If you can smash that like button, become a part of the community by subscribing. That'll help us out tremendously, help bring these types of videos to help other folks who are interested in the mobile home industry and purchasing a home in a mobile home park. So with that being said, as always, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks to you for being a part of this video and a part of the community. So on this educational video today, what we're going to do is we're going to cover a couple of questions that folks will either bring up to you if you're looking to purchase a mobile home, or things that we have heard about over the last several years working in the industry. Mainly, are mobile home parks safe? You know, there are a lot of stereotypes out of there with parks, especially for folks who are not experienced with them, who don't understand the community aspect of them. And I think those rumors need to be dispelled, and we're going to try to do that here today. Now, before I get started, I do want to mention that this video is coming on kind of the backlash of a lot of negativity being thrown in the mobile home park space. I'm not one to put light on bad news. We try to keep a very uplifting and fun atmosphere here on the channel. But there was a young man who lost his life tragically over this past weekend. And thoughts and prayers with his family, because he lost his life in a mobile home. And it was in Bradenton. And a lot of folks online are immediately using this as a way to say mobile home parks aren't safe, and all this other kind of stuff. And so that's really kind of where the basis of the video is coming from. So again, thoughts and prayers to his family. Hope everything goes as well as it can with this whole deal. But with that being said, I wanted to bring a video to you to discuss a lot of things that are pros in mobile home parks, and a lot of things to kind of just watch out for when you're purchasing a home in a park. So this video is coming directly on that young man losing his life. So let's go ahead and start. So with that somber news out of the way here, let's go ahead and start with why mobile home parks are just a great place to be. Okay, a fantastic place. Now let's talk about affordable housing. I know affordable and the word affordability is a relative term. What's affordable to one person and what's affordable to somebody else, pro or con, may not match up. Okay, but when we're talking about affordable housing, especially in a wacky real estate market, we have got to look at mobile home parks as kind of the beacon, the last beacon, dare I say, of affordable housing in the entire country. If we're going to talk about Bradenton or Sarasota, we'll just talk about Sarasota, for instance. To get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with laundry, with a carport, easily you're looking at over $3,000, easily, and that's per month. Okay, Bradenton is probably going to be 10 to 20% less, 2,500, 2,600, depending on what part of Bradenton, depending on what part of Sarasota. 2-bed, 2-baths in Sarasota, like downtown, I mean, they'd be over like $5,000 per month. And then other areas of Sarasota, they might be a little bit less. So it kind of varies, but I'd say around 3,000 in Sarasota to around 2,500 in Bradenton. And that's per month, okay? Now, if we flip that over to mobile home parks and mobile home park lot rent, as you've heard us talk about numerous times in the channel, that the average lot rent in Manatee County, which will encompass Bradenton, for this year, the average lot rent is about $750. For Sarasota, it's about $850. Okay, so right out of the chute, you're saving about $2,000 on either one per month owning your mobile home, as opposed to paying apartment rent. Now, trying to find a house rental, good luck. Those are going to be very few and very far between. And as we all know, sorry for the light coming in here. It's blasting me, so I guess I got my ball cap on, I guess. As far as the purchasing a home, we all know how high real estate is right now. Interest rates aren't helping the situation. So we'll just kind of throw that out the window for the conversation today. So when we're talking about affordability, we will immediately want to mention lot rent and how affordable mobile homes and mobile home parks are relative, okay, that's the key thing, relative to other areas of housing, whether it's apartments or single family homes. So that's going to be a big thing, a big driver for folks to initially get into the mobile home lifestyle, because it's the most affordable way to live down here on the Gulf Coast of Florida by far. By far, it's by far the most affordable spot. Now, when we're talking about safety, which is kind of the cornerstone of this video, I'll go off kind of script here and kind of say that use your best judgment. Okay, there are mobile home parks in every town and every city that are going to be super nice, and there's going to be mobile home parks in every town and every city that are a little rough. Okay, now that goes without saying. I am not throwing shade on anybody who lives in a really nice one or anybody who lives in kind of a rougher one. It's just use your common sense. Generally speaking, and this is a general comment, the lower the lot rent, a lot of times the lower the lot rent, when we get like, and I'm not talking about 700 to 650. I'm talking about 700 to say 300 or 400. Usually when you get lower lot rents, they have less amenities. Okay, and generally speaking, they're going to be a little bit more lax on the park approval process. Okay, generally speaking, most parks are going to check 3 different things for park approval in no exact order. It's going to be the criminal background, the debt to income, or the income to lot rent ratio, excuse me, and the credit reports. Okay, generally speaking, the higher the lot rent, or dare I say, the nicer the park, the more stringent they're going to be on all those 3. They're not going to play games on any one of them. They're going to have a set rate on income, on criminal, and on credit, and they do not waver. Okay, when you start going further and further and further and further down on lot rents, generally speaking, you're going to have a lot less amenities, as mentioned before, and a little bit more lax on the other items, the park approval. Okay, usually when you get into the very low-priced lot rent areas, then they're going to be very lackadaisical and all that stuff, and there's going to be usually no restrictions on renting. Most parks that are nicer, if they do allow rentals, they're going to require long-term rentals, and those rentals are going to, those renters in the rentals are going to have to be park approved. So whoever lives there is going to have to be at the same standard. When you start going further and further down in the lot rents, then everything is going to be more lackadaisical. They usually don't have any restrictions on renters. Usually some of those parks, in the very low priced ones, they'll allow an Airbnb style deal. So you may be living there and you may have, one person there Tuesday and then one person there Thursday, and then on the weekend there might be different people. Okay. Now I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just sitting there and saying, usually the further you go down in lot rent, especially on the Gulf Coast of Florida, the more kind of, I guess, relaxed they would be on that. Some people appreciate that because it's more of kind of an independent feel and kind of come as you go. And some people, have a problem with that because, I will be totally upfront, it tends to bring in different folks. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just sitting there and saying it brings in different folks than parks that have a stringent approval process and a stringent rental, if they allow rental process. So I would say when we're talking about safety is a relative term, okay? Just like affordability is a relative term. So what may be safe to me may not be safe to you, and vice versa. What I would strongly suggest, though, is when you're looking at safety for a mobile home park, the best thing that you can do as a buyer, by far, the best thing you can do is, don't take my word for it, okay? Don't take my word for it. Don't take our agent's words for it, okay? The best thing you can do by far is go and talk to the park manager or the park owner, however it's set up, understand what the approval process is, and understand how stringent they are on that, and then start meeting some people in the neighborhood and talk to them about their approval process. That may sound silly, but that's going to give you a very good idea of exactly kind of the folks who are going to be in the park. Okay, so if they have a very stringent approval process, they don't budge, it may be kind of a stinker, but at least you know that everybody is at the same level and they don't play games there. Okay, if you don't have that ability to do that, give us a holler. We're happy to get you in contact with managers and owners of parks so you can talk to them directly. But a lot of times people focus on the lot rent. They want the cheapest lot rent, and that's their big thing. That's fine, but just know that the cheaper lot rent you go, usually speaking, the less amenities you have. And then if you go super low on lot rent, you may have a little bit more of a lackadaisical park approval process and rental process. Again, that's just something to you, for you as a buyer to consider. So, are mobile home parks safe? Yes, they are very safe. They are very safe, like every other town and every other living situation. There's going to be some rougher areas and some nicer areas. The best thing that you can do as a mobile home buyer is to take what I said with a grain of salt, drive the park, Google, if you're remote, Google map it, check out what's around there. Generally speaking, you can tell if there's a liquor store and an adult store across the street from the park. It may be a little bit different than having a golf course and a YMCA across the street. So that whole just common sense, whether you're looking at a mobile home park or a neighborhood or an apartment complex, that's going to kind of carry over from both sides. Okay, so do the best you can to use the most common sense you can. Mobile home parks are a great place to be. The community and the kind of the community feel and the family feel you get there are second to none. Your affordability is second to none, and the experience that you get spending time in there is fantastic. However, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you understand what you're looking for in a park, and make sure you understand about the approval process, the rental process, and everything in the area for the community. So with that being said, I hope you found some value in this. I hope it made you think, and I hope you were able to realize that mobile home parks are a great place to be, and we're here to help in any way you can. So with that being said, my name is Mark. You've been with the Mobile Home Dealer. Thanks so much for being a part of this, and as always, we'll see y'all on the next one.